Today we're diving deep into Soulframe Preludes 15, Gods and Ghosts, the biggest loot and crafting overhaul the game has ever seen. After some rough patches in previous Preludes, Digital Extremes finally listened, and it shows. The chase for gear feels fresh again, weapons drop fully built and ready to go, virtue liths are gone for good, and the new tempers and refinement systems are actually fun. This might just be the update that turns Soulframe from promising into I can't stop playing. But with that being said, it's not perfect. There are still some things holding it back from feeling truly complete. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what needs to change in Preludes 15 and the key things that still need to change before launch. So before we get into it, hit that like and subscribe button and let's dive right in. So let me start by saying Preludes 15 is genuinely a really good update. It doesn't need a complete overhaul, it just needs some smart additions to fix the frustrating bits. What I love most about the loot changes is that it finally gives you a real reason to constantly scan the ground, like a true MMO. Weapons are dropping everywhere, fully built, and you get to actually choose what you pick up. It feels fresh, rewarding, and it makes a massive difference in how the game plays. However, with that said, my inner completionist is a little sad because weapons don't feel like something you need to collect all of anymore. But that's a small price to pay for better gameplay. Now here's where it gets frustrating. When you're picking weapons up off the ground, especially as a new player, it's really hard to tell what you're actually grabbing. The symbols are tiny and unclear. I'd love if the devs added a simple tab or hold button while looking at a weapon on the ground that pops up a preview with the exact tempers on it and a short description. Just like in the armory menu, that one change would remove so much guesswork. Then once you do pick stuff up and open your armory, it feels chaotic. Everything just dumps into one big list and you have no idea which weapons are the new ones you just found. A simple highlight or new tag on recently picked up weapons would make a world of difference. On the positive side though, I'm really happy with the dismantling changes. You now get steel when you break down weapons, and it actually feels obtainable instead of super rare like before. That's a huge quality of life win. Overall, the foundation they built in this update is excellent. It just needs a few smart additions to make the whole system feel complete and player-friendly. Next up is the new refining menu with Volcane. This is a massive win because now you can finally upgrade and personalize your weapons in a meaningful way. It gives every weapon its own identity and adds real progression directly to your ancestor. That feeling of, this is my weapon, is finally here, and it feels fantastic. Right now, we can't add every temper yet. Stuff like volcanic damage will probably come in Prelude 16, but I'm totally fine waiting. There are so many refinement levels to push through on the way to Legendary that you'll be busy experimenting and improving your favorites for a long time. Honestly, I went into this update thinking the weapon system might feel disappointing, but I'm genuinely impressed. The foundation they've built is strong, and it has me excited for what's coming next. On a slightly more disappointing note, let's talk about the new area. I'll be honest, it feels pretty dead and empty right now. I get that we're still in pre-alpha, so some of that is expected, but I went in hoping this new map would feel like a real content drop. Instead, it comes across more like a dead-end zone rather than an exciting new region to explore. I really want this place to feel more alive in future updates. More ghostly encounters, pirate-themed events, for example, or even pirates that tie back to the previous Fable would make a huge difference. So right now, it just doesn't have that immersive Soulframe atmosphere I was hoping for, and it ends up feeling like a missed opportunity. But on a much brighter note, the changes to Virtue Liths are excellent. This is one of the bigger wins in my opinion. The old experimental system felt clunky and frustrating, but the way it works now is clean, balanced, and actually enjoyable with no downsides. The devs should leave it exactly as it is. It's in a really good spot and doesn't need any more major tweaks. Finally, let's talk about the new Siege. Overall, it's a good addition. It's nothing massive, but it does add more life and activity to the game, which is always welcome in a pre-alpha title. That said, I have one small suggestion for the devs. I think they should differentiate between these events with clearer names. The smaller, quicker ones could stay called Sieges, while the bigger, more cinematic or explorable versions should get their own distinct name. It would help set proper expectations and mentally prepare players for what they're jumping into. That's just a tiny quality of life idea, but I think it would make a noticeable difference. Visually and gameplay-wise, there are some nice improvements. There's more map coverage, new enemy types, added houses, and the upgraded walls look solid. These changes help the area feel a bit more lived in. However, in my personal opinion, the walls everywhere are starting to feel a bit much. Each zone should feel naturally different from the last. Right now, the constant walls make it seem like the devs are trying too hard to shout, "This is a new area," instead of letting the environment and enemy scaling do the talking organically. It breaks immersion a little and makes transitions feel artificial. If this is just how this specific map is designed, then fine. I can live with it for now. But as Soulframe expands into bigger regions and later expansions, I hope the world starts to blend more naturally. Walls could still work as defensive structures in certain story moments, but they shouldn't be the main way we tell zones apart. A smoother, more seamless world would feel way more alive and true to the Soulframe world. So yeah, the siege is a net positive and adds some much-needed activity, but a few naming tweaks and a more natural zone design would take it from okay to really good. So yeah, that's my rant for the day, and I hope the devs implement at least some of my ideas. But let me know in the comments below what you happy about and what needs changing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.